Hi guys. So I just wanted to share a dream I had yesterday. It was kind of long, but I'm just going to skip most of it and just get to what I think is the important part. So I believe I was in a school, but I'm not sure. I could have been in a clinic or a hospital, but it felt more like a school. So I ended up walking through this door, and there was a lady there, and I felt like she was like a counselor. And she had asked me if I would sit down and talk to her. And I said, no, I can't right now. I got to go tell everybody that Jesus is coming. And she kind of tried to get me just to spend a minute or two with her. And I said, no, I can't. And I ended up going through this other door. And a few things happened. And then I just felt like it was about 4 or 5 hours later. And I ended up coming through that same door again. And she said, Chanda, will you please sit down with me for just a minute and talk to me? And so I did. And then like four other ladies had walked in and sat down and kind of surrounded me in a circle. And then they just basically said like they were really concerned about what was happening with me. And I was like, nothing's happening with me. I just got to tell everybody that Jesus is coming now. And I started crying. And this lady said, why don't you take a minute and just lay down on the floor? So I did, and then she laid beside me and she just started rubbing my head and saying that it's going to be okay. And I said, no, it's not. You guys don't understand. Jesus is coming now. We have to tell everybody. Why don't you guys help me? And I was just bawling. And then I remember looking up at the wall, and there was a TV on the wall, and Star Wars was on. And you guys, I've never watched Star Wars in my entire life, and I never will. But I just remember something being said like the forces of darkness are upon us, or the forces of darkness is coming, or something like that. And then the screen changed to like falling diamonds. And then that was pretty much the end of my dream. So I just felt like these ladies were attacking me and making me feel like I was not normal, and that Jesus wasn't coming, and I was losing my mind. And so that just brought a memory back to me. Back in January, I had a really bad bladder infection. And you guys, it takes a lot for me to go to the doctor. I just hate going to the doctor. But my bladder infection was pretty severe. So I ended up making an appointment, and I went. And instead of the nurse coming out to get me, this other lady comes and gets me, and she brings me into her office. And I'm just like, what am I doing in here? And she started asking me all these questions. And I said, why am I going through this? And she said, well, you haven't been seen in over 5 years, so we kind of got to like re-register you as a new patient. And I was like, okay. So she turns her computer screen toward me so I can see all these questions. And they were basically about just life and how I feel and what makes my mood bad or good, or I don't know. There was just like 40 questions. And so I was like, well, I'll answer them, but they're going to be in a Christian point of view. And so basically all the questions had to, it came down to answering about Jesus and going home and waiting for the rapture. And because I had no intentions on talking about God, but I did. And so I could tell this lady was a little frustrated with me. And then she started telling me that she just believed that we just have to love everybody and accept everybody. And basically, like, her God was the world. And I was like, so, I don't push my beliefs on people, but if you start telling me about your beliefs, I'm going to tell you right back. So I started telling her, have you ever read the Bible? Do you not know what the Bible speaks of as happening right now? And everything is pointing to Jesus coming back. And you could tell she was kind of getting a little frustrated with me. So when the question thing was done, it came up that I was diagnosed as severely depressed. And I started laughing, and I was like, that is crazy. I said, I'm not a depressed person. Just because I love Jesus and long to be with him and want to go home does not mean I'm a depressed person. She goes, well, do you have anything that makes you happy in life? And I said, yes, my family and my grandson, but still, I know that when I go home to heaven, they will be with me. So I'd much rather be in heaven enjoying them than on earth. And she just could not understand what I was saying. So I just told her her test was a joke and that it was from a worldly perspective and not a Christian's perspective. So she ended up taking me to my room, and then the doctor comes in, 5-10 minutes later, turns on her computer and looks at my file, starts talking to me about depression right away. So I just basically told her the same thing, and, just let's get on with this bladder infection thing. So I just kind of, shut her down. Well, then I went home, and about 2 days later, she calls me. And she says, I really recommend that you make an appointment with us to come back and talk about your depression. I said, I am not depressed. And I said, if I am, I will always call upon the Lord to heal me from this depression, but I don't feel even a little bit depressed. But if I do, and if the Lord doesn't heal me, I will definitely give you a call and I'll come in. And I ended up hanging up on her because she was just so pushy about it. And then about 2 days later, then she sent me a letter in the mail. So I just will not go back to this doctor. I had never seen her before, but the doctor that I normally saw didn't work there anymore. So, you guys, I just never go to the doctor, and I just will not go back to her if I have to go back to the doctor. But you guys, I just wanted to share this just to let you guys know that we are different than majority of the people. We look at life different, and we are all waiting on Jesus, and we know that what awaits us, and it's way better than what this life has to offer, and people just don't understand that. But don't ever for 1 second let anybody make you feel like you don't belong, or you're not normal, or that you're crazy. There's just so many lost people in the world, and we just got to continue praying for them and look at them as they are lost. We're awake, we're in Christ, we know what's happening and what is going to happen and where we're going, where they don't. So, we're the normal ones. Don't ever feel like you're not. But you guys, I heard this quote on God's Not Dead 2. And it's always stuck with me ever since I watched this movie about 2 years ago or so. And it says, I'd rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world and be judged by God. So I just live by that principle every single time I go out in the world. I have to think about it that way and look at people like, their eyes just aren't open yet and they're lost, and try and sow seeds where I can and try and open people's eyes to what's happening. But guys, I just thought I would share that and just keep you encouraged, and not to let anybody get to you and get you down and make you feel like you don't belong. Well, we don't belong. This isn't our home. But you guys know what I'm saying. But I'll talk to you guys later. Take care and God bless.